Hello and welcome to Wally Bois and my hand plane restoration video, or one stage. Today I'm going to be working on the chip breaker and the plane iron assembly, which is a pain in the flipping derriere, that is. Now this hand plane and chip iron assembly, which came out of that English hand plane over there, which is a lovely, lovely thing, and so is this hand plane iron and chip breaker. Happened to be a ward cast steel. Absolutely lovely, all tapered, and it's basically it's all forged and what have you. It's really nice thing, and so is the chip breaker itself. It's just well made, you know. It's solid. This thing, and well, that was ridiculous, and there's no way it was going to work as it was. So I don't know what. I don't think it's original in this plan. I don't say it can be. The chip breaker was too long, so I've cut that off. The chip breaker. It literally went like, a bit like that. I showed you in the previous video. And yeah, there's mushrooming on the plane iron here and that going on there, like so it's also mushroomed. There's no way of adjusting it properly because you have to tap the back of the actual, the top of the plane iron itself. So I thought, what do we do about that? Well, the first thing I did was chop that bit off. So I've made it shorter, okay? I've also drilled a hole in there and I'll explain why in a minute. Now, I've drilled the holes before I actually made this video just in case it's too hard to flip and drill and then just snapping the bits. Luckily, it drilled okay actually with some dormer drill bits. Now I've drilled two holes, okay? One hole is going to be tapped, which we're going to do in a minute. The hole I put in it might be actually too small for the tap, and we will see in a moment. At the minute it's got I think it's a 6.5mm hole, and it's 8mm tap. It's an M8, which needs about 6.5 to 7mm for the tap. So we're going to be tapping that anyway. Also, in this video, we're also going to be putting the edge on it as well. So we're going to try and sort this arrangement out in this video. Now, this applies to pretty much any wooden hand plane. The principles are going to be pretty much the same. Now, ideally, I'll be making that into a slot. And I thought to myself, well, yeah, I can do, but I don't need to do it yet. So we're not going to be putting a slot in yet. And the reason why that is, that's a 10mm hole, and that is an 8mm M8 bolt, so there is slack, okay? So I've got like 2mm movement anyway at the moment. It's going to be a while before I remove 2mm of material off here. So I can do that later, I can create a slot later, and I'll do that by literally drilling another hole a little bit further up and getting the file in there and just making flattening the sides up. That's what I'd probably do. And then give me enough meter. Don't need any more meat than that because at the end of the day, it's quite worn. There's no point at this stage. If you look at the length of this one, to that one, that's the see, that's a lot longer. This is very worn, and also the arrangement. It was just wrong. Everything was wrong about it. That was wrong, and that was wrong, as if it wasn't supposed to be in it. Now this hand plane body here, I explained in the previous video, it's going to require quite a lot of additional work. It's full of wormholes, and I had to plane it up, which lost a lot of the patina because it wasn't true. It was twisted. And there's a reason why that was twisted. It's because it isn't a very good selection of timber. It's the rings on the timber's too. I can show you. There it is. That's the centre of the radial rings. It's just there. So effectively, this piece of wood, because it's not quartz sawn or anything like that, it'll twist in time, and that's pretty much what it did. So I had to tree the bottom up quite a bit. Done it. And it's pretty flat now, to be fair. And then by doing that, I then had to square the sides to it, which then meant I had to remove quite a bit of material on the sides, and they were the areas where there's quite a bit of woodworm. And if you look at the end of that, look at the state of that. You know, so I've got to do something with that. I could chop it shorter, but the whole point of me doing this hand plane is because it's long. This is longer than a number 8 bench plane. Yeah, it's longer than my number 7. It's also longer than a number 8. It is humongous. In fact, well, yeah, I could show you actually. Just let me look at my number 7. Give you a bit more idea how big that is. I haven't got a number 8 to show you, but that is a number 7. And I've actually chopped a little bit off the end of that. And a little bit off the end of that, probably about 20mm in total. So that would have been a bit longer. If you're wondering how I trued it up, I did that with a piece of sandpaper on the table saw. Before I did that, though, I actually used the actual number 7. Just take the worst material off. And it's done the job. It's not. I've checked with winding sticks and what have you, and put it on a flat surface. It doesn't rock or anything else. It seems pretty flat, which is good. Anyway, in this video, we're going to be doing a bit of tapping. Yeah. Tapping, as in that. Right, being as we're here, we're going to be just doing it in my woodworking vise. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you down to my vise. There you go. Oh no, where is this beautiful head gone? Oh, yeah, sorry, I know. So we're going to have a go at tapping this. And I'm doing all this hard bit before I sharpen it all up. For one thing, I don't want to cut myself. And another thing is, let's make sure I can do it before I spend too much time. So I tend to start with the hardest bit first, because then if I can't do that, well then I haven't wasted no time. There's a possibility, like I said, the hole might be too big, fractionally, which might mean I have to use a different drill bit. Right, so it's kind of started, I think. The first bit is the hardest bit. It's getting it started, especially if the hole's too small. Now, normally you should have, I ain't got any. You should use like a cutting fluid, but I haven't got any. So all I've used is a bit of oil. I don't know why those tumblers before, so I'm not worried. And what the tap has got is effectively these cutting faces, like so, to create the thread rate. And these are M8s, these are metric. Well, yeah, the M8's what I'm using. That one there is an N12. It's not a bad little set tap and dies. There's actually a Clark one up from Machine Mark. I think I have actually made that hole too big, so I might have to go to the next size up. Add another 1/2 millimetre. It's not starting very well. Once I get it in there, that should be alright. There's some people watching me and say, crikey, that's not how you do it. Quite possibly. And they'd probably be right. Once you get it started, you're usually okay. The handle's moving. That's the wrong handle, that one. It's twisted. Oh, that's silly old me. Why did I do that? Right. What I've done is, I put it in too fast. It wasn't on the square of the actual. There's a square on there. I actually put it onto the round a bit, so that's my eyesight for you. Right, there you go. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. So it's twisting the handle. So hopefully we can make that start. I've got a bolt all ready to go, which has a nice little domed head. Because I'm going to have to remove a little bit out of the actual cap wood. Cap wood? What do you call that? What would you call that? Because that's, you know, what we generally, you know, Bailey, Stanley Bailey, we call it a cap iron. You know, like a lever cap or something like that, or in this case, a wedge. And you see on this one, which is a hand plane that I showed you with the ward cast steel. It's got this place there for the actual bolt to go. Yeah, so it's got somewhere to go. This one hasn't got it yet, so we'll have to do that as well. But I've found quite a smallish headed Allen bolt, like so. This might do it. I might get away with it. I think it's a compromise, isn't it? You see, if I go too chicken to start with by drilling my hole a little bit on the big side, effectively I could end up with a thread that has got no meat in it. It's just like, yeah, the bolt is just teetering on the edge of the actual thread that's going in. Excellent. So yeah, that's gone all right. That was 6.5 mil that I used. Yes, it's in. It's in. So, spin it around. I'll get looser and looser and looser because you're cleaning out all the threads. Back again. So basically, I created a nut. Yes, this nut has just created a nut. So hopefully, the bolt, yeah, that thread looks good in there, I think. It looks alright. Hopefully that will screw into it. If it doesn't, I don't know what I'm going to do. You could weld a nut onto it, I suppose. Let's make sure it's got plenty of meat. Because remember, this is not very thick. So it's not a very thick nut that I've created. So that's gone in there. It doesn't have to be that tight though, see? As long as I can get enough meat on that to pull that onto. Yes, that's good. I don't need to pull it too tight. And once I know what size it's going to be, we can cut that little nut to length. Now, I know there's some bit of work to be done on here still. So that's the chip brake, so it's going to be sitting on there like so. And then the And that'll be coming in from behind. Ooh, really? Like so. Yeah, that's all good. Now, this body here has got no provision for the nut, so I'll have to create one. But that'll be another video. At the moment, all I'm concerned about is getting the chip breaker and the plane iron in a usable state. So, okay, so that's going to work. So I need to, have I got enough movement to get that close enough? Yes. So, although I haven't created a slot in there, I've still got this much space to play about with. It'll be fun. I'm not going to use the pan plane that much, so that's probably going to be enough. Now later on, I could create I'll probably get away with creating another hole and making this portion into a slot. But at the moment, I'm not going to worry because I've got loads of meat there to to play about with. So there's no need at all, I don't think. So okay, that worked. So what we need to do now is work out how the length of this bolt. I don't want it flush. I want it, just proud. So I'm going to mark it with a pen to start with. Actually, do you know what a better idea? Tell you what a better idea is. Let's get some tape. I'm going to use my medical tape that I use for when I cut my fingers. It's actually called electrical tape, but there you go. But that's what I'm going to use, even when I cut my finger. So let's pull a bit of that off and pull it exactly where I want it to be. So I want it show, a little bit of the nut showing, the bolt showing, but not too much. Give me an idea where I'm going to cut it off. So I'll cut it with a hacksaw. I'm not going to use bolt cutters, you can see that because I'll end up crushing the end, and then it'll just be no good anyway. So now I know. Do you know what? What an idiot. Do you know what I've just done? I've stopped myself being able to actually remove the bolt, but it doesn't actually really matter. Why don't I just put it in the actual vise like that? Wouldn't it make more sense anyway? And as long as I am going from a direction which effectively tighten the nut and not loosen the nut, which would be that way, it's not going to loosen, it's going to tighten. So that'll work. Yeah. So I could put that in there like so then, maybe. Just an idea. Now normally I'll do this in a metal vise, but obviously for the purpose of the video, and saves me moving the camera about again, I'm going to do it there. Just grab a hacksaw. Hopefully the blade will do the job. It's not a brilliant blade, but Should I have a hacksaw gone? Oh, it's in the car. Right. So I'm just going to just try to get it started. I can do that actually easy. I just lean it for the first few strokes, using the back of the steel as a guide, and then bring it up once I've got started. There we go. We're away. Shall I do the Rex Kruger? Let's do the Rex Kruger. What you've got to do is, you see, you've got to swing with it. Called the Rex Kruger. Ooh, ooh. Swing your hips. That's it. That's what you've got to do, apparently. Oh, I use my arms. Blimey, why would you got to do swing your hips for? I don't get that. I do like Rex, but you just say some silly things sometimes. I don't think you've really got to swing your hips. I've never seen anyone with a hacksaw swinging their hips. You want to use all the blade, or as much of it as you can. There you go. Like so. And what I'm going to do is now, as crazy it seems, I'm going to actually tighten this up. Like so. Okay? And I'm now going to file that while it's in there. Because that way, I ain't got to hold it when it gets hot on a grinder or anything like that. And this becomes like a holding device. Now we will be going over to linisher in a minute to tidy this up, get rid of these burrs and stuff like that, but also create that primary bevel on the linisher using my little jig, and then we'll sharpen it up and get make sure it's all usable. Hopefully it'll be usable. So at this stage I need a file, very expensive file I got here. Yes, honest. It's from Temu. Seems all right. See, some things on Temu are okay. These files I've got a set of 3 files for under 10, and they're actually okay. I don't like plastic handles mine, but I've got plenty of cut on there. See, one thing, if you've got a problem with your file clogging, what you want to do is get yourself a lump of chalk. Bit of shell like that. and just smack a bit of that on there, on your file. And what happened is, instead of the metal gripping into all the little grooves, it'll fall out with the chalk, and it stops your file clogging up. Quite happy with that. Yeah. Now what I've got to just do is just go around the edges a little bit. What you've got to remember is, because I haven't got a big hole for the head to go through, like you would do, like on this one, yeah. All right, you have to remove the bolt in its entirety. Now for me, it don't matter. But what I don't want is a burr. I've got to make sure that I can easily put it back into the plane iron, or into the back, or actually the chip breaker actually. You're not going to do that if you've got all burrs around there. Now you could do this on the grinder, but the likelihood is it's going to get very hot, and your fingers will burn off. Yeah, you get like burns all over your fingers, or you get so hot you'll drop it. This better. That's getting there. I'm not worried about all these scratches on there at the minute, because we'll sort them out in a minute on a linisher. Now, if you haven't got a linisher, you can carry on using a hand file if you want, just flatten all this off a hand file, I suppose, like that. Take a little while. I don't think you'll do as good job. Or you could just use a belt sander, or electric sander, or just a sander with stuck to a piece of wood. You use whatever you got. As long as it does a job, it's all that matters. I'm not here to get all too tarty about it, are we? We just want to get the job done. So, what I want to do is make sure, if I get carried away with this, that if I remove that screw, because remember it's not a slot, like a keyhole slot, where you can remove it just by loosening it up and pulling it across, and then removing it like you can do with that one. We're going to have to remove the whole screw, because the way I've done it. That's why I've chosen to do it, right? So there's a risk of losing that. But there again, it's only M8, so it's easy to get another one, isn't it? So hopefully I can thread that in there. Probably the easiest way, because my fingers are useless these days. Carpal tunnel syndrome and fibromyalgia, and God knows what else was wrong with me. And I know what it is now. I've got this finger here is swollen. I thought it was some sort of arthritis, lupus, or what you call it. But someone said, no, it looks like a burst blood vessel. Because the other day I was doing a video, Caroline's helped me put the shot together with the domino dowel. It was blue, dark blue there, and blue there. My joint finger was all swollen. I couldn't hardly bend it. I can still feel it now a little bit. It's still swollen, but it's gone down a lot. But it was a burst blood vessel. Didn't realise you get a little bit of a burst of blood vessel thing. I know you can in your nose. I know you can in your eyes. Seen that before. Okay, that's fine. And we've got enough movement there, so we can easily pull that backwards and forwards. Enough, yes, there's plenty of that. See, we'll get right close or far away. Now, I generally go about 1 millimetre to 2 millimetres back. When I see people get as close as they can to that edge, oh yeah, that's it, just right on that edge. Oh no, don't do it. Some people might disagree with me, but that's up to you. You can disagree as much as you like. I still think you're wrong. The reason why I think you're wrong is what happens is you create too much bulk at the front, and you actually block the mouth of the plane on that face. Remember to set an angle, so you need quite a wide mouth, on there. So you've got to be careful. So I tend to go back 1 to 2 millimetres from the actual edge of the plane iron, right? So there's enough there to do its job, but also provides clearance for the shaving to escape. Otherwise, what will happen is the shaving will fold up around the edge of the plane iron and the mouth, and you won't be able to take a decent shaving. It'll just end up like dust. Right, so that's on there. Right, that's good. I'm happy with that. It's poking through enough there, okay? Maybe it's too much, but I'm happy with that. All I'm going to do is make some clearance in there. So when that goes into this plain body here, that'll be able to slide in there, and there'll be a slot in the back here, just like on the other one that I showed you a moment ago. And then that can slide in there backwards and forwards. And the same with this, actually that way around, sorry. So that can slide there backwards and forwards, and that'll be the same here on the actual, like this one here. If I use that, there's clearance, okay? I'm going to provide some clearance with this one if it needs it. I might not even need it once the plane iron's down the bottom there. No, it doesn't even need it. It misses it. Yeah, it misses it, see? Yeah, so don't need that. No, don't need to worry about that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the linisher, and we're going to sort out this mushrooming here, clean these up on the linisher. It looks like this plain iron here, which is a Goldenberg, or Golden Bear. That's it's Goldenberg. I think it's a northern French plain iron. Apparently they're quite good. We'll see, won't we? And it's got a funny eye at the top there, like the all-seeing eye. Yeah, it's quite cool. So let's remove the screw altogether, because I don't want to lose it. No. So I'm going to take it out of the way, and just put it over here out of the way. If you wonder what I'm doing with this worm-ridden body, I'm thinking about literally petrifying it with resin. So, Sebastian. Oh, my dog wants a treat. Come on, boy. Come and get it. You're going to come and get it. There you are. Good boy. Yeah, he's a lovely fella. So over to the linisher we go. Let's see if we can tidy these up on the linisher. I've got that as well. And then we'll have to do some oil stone or diamond stone work. But first of all, linisher. We've got to do the linisher that we have. Yeah. All right, which is here. So what I'm going to make you a little bit taller. Maybe not that tall, but that's it. That looks about right. So I've got some water down here as well, so I can keep dunking it. All right, so that when it gets too hot, I can cool it down. I'm using this, which is the device that I use when I do my sharpening. Let's bring it up a little bit. I use this on my oil stones, my diamond sharpens, and they last ages. Now, some people say, well, why don't you just wear it away? Well, you just make another one. It's so easy. And I use that for actually, I don't worry too much about primary bevel and the secondary bevel, which just ends up in the sharpened edge, micro bevel. I quite try and do it all on this as much as I can, and it seems to work. So it gives me my angle of the dangle. That just needs cleaning up. So what we'll do, first we'll remove this mushrooming first. As you can see, it's not very flat. You can see all the shiny bits and sort of crazy bits there. Bit around the edges still. That's where it's been beaten, you see, the mushroom at the end. That have kind of fattened it there as well. That don't really matter, to be fair. They don't make any difference. But I do need to try and flatten that, which some of that's going to be done on a diamond stone, obviously, to make doubly sure. At the moment, it's not doing a brilliant job of it because it's just shit. And I'll do some on the linisher in a minute. At the moment, I'm doing it on the disc, which isn't as flat as linisher. The linisher is really flat. But I just need to get rid of all this rust, you know. It's the quickest way to clean it up. If I was to try and remove that amount of material with a diamond sharpener, I'd be here for a very long time. Now, can you see that dark area? This is plated. I'm pretty certain that's plated. I'm looking on this side, I can see like a little pitting here and there. I think you see it, little tiny little dots, and something's pitting. So, and you see here, like for instance, where the plating's gone. So I don't know why they'd plate it for. Don't know what that's about. Now what I do with the linisher, I don't know if you can see this, but I always use one side of it for wood on the belt and the other side for the metals. So I don't end up just wasting, because how often do you sand things that wide, you know? Quite often it's just small pieces, so I keep one for one side, for the metal, and the other side for wood. Okay, I've got my little sharpening guide, which is literally a wedge of wood with a couple of magnets in it, so I can just literally chuck it in there like that, okay? And it'll hold it for me. And I just line the bottom of that up with the bottom of, you know, the bevel, or your primary bevel, the existing one, with the actual, it's tight, strong magnets, isn't they? On there like so. Line that edge up. But what I'm looking at, because it's got a bit of a taper in this blade, plane iron, so I've got to make sure I line the bottom up. Not just, yeah, otherwise I'll put an angle to the primary bevel. Check it on there. That's what, about right, I think. Yeah. What I'll do is I'll dunk that in water as I go as well, so it don't get too hot. the linear, what I'm trying to do, so I'm dunking it as I go. You can feel it when it gets hot. You've got your finger on there. Yeah, dunk. You know, so you don't want that going blue. You see, it's a nice long bevel because it has a nice thick, nice thick plane on. Now I'm looking for a wire edge all the way along. Once I've got that wire edge all the way along, not quite there yet, nearly there, right? So basically like a little bent over piece of metal all the way along that edge where it's sort of rolled over. And then I should be able to run my finger on the back of it and feel it. Now I can feel it over there, but this edge here, on this end, it's only just starting to form. So I'll do a little bit more and I'll be there. I don't know if you can see that. If I put this behind, it might just see it a bit easier. If you can see, there's like a bit of a serration going on that edge now. That's the wire edge. So that's ready now to be sharpened. But before I do that, I just want to clean this chip breaker up so it's not so, well, nasty. I'm happy that I just do the rest of the sandpaper. I'm not want to make too many divots. I don't make it too thin, you see, because obviously if I try and remove all that, the overall thickness is going to change. I don't want to do that. Okay, so we've got our plane irons. We'll take this back to the bench. So come down here, and we have either we could use these, but they're a bit on the small side. You know, they do a good job of that. So what we're going to use is the oil stones here to start with. So let's get this out of the way. In fact, let's bring you around here. One coarse one first. So what we're going to use is my oil stone. So I just apply a little bit of oil to the oil stone, and then we pass it backwards and forwards, try and spread the oil the best that we can, because a certain amount is going to soak into the oil stone, and that's what keeps the oil stone clean. And then I'll just carry on backwards and forwards until I create a sharp edge. So I've removed the grindings, basically. That's what I want to do. Remove the grinding from the linear. Now, if you haven't got a linear, you can use a belt sander, because pretty much that's all it is. Or you can have a bit of sandpaper stuck down to a piece of glass or a bit of marble or to your table saw and use that to do your primary bevel. Now, I know a lot of people say, oh, why don't you use a Torbeck? Why don't you use your bench grinder? I think the idea of using a bench grinder for sharpening your tools is a really daft idea, because it's round. I want private bevel to be flat, right? Straight and flat. And it's getting there. Oh, close. It's actually getting sharp now. It wasn't sharp a minute ago, but it's getting sharp now. So now I think we're at a stage. Never mind the burr. We'll put that to one side now. We're done with that one now. I'm going to go onto the 1000 grit. The India oil stone. Come it's 1000 or 1200. I can't remember. Fortunately, a lot of the India ones now are around 600s. It's too coarse. This is quite old. This one is. Well, they're all old actually. They last forever. Oil stones last absolutely forever. They're not as fast as a diamond sharpener. And good diamond sharpeners last a long while as well. Cheap ones don't. But they do, you know. But they're, again, they're very, very cheap when you're a £5. So you can actually get a good edge out of them as well. Okay. So I think I'm happy at that. I'll probably be happy at that. I'll see. I'll have my fingers crossed that. I feel that the actual edge is getting sharper. And the burr, the wire edge, is becoming less and less, as in it's thinner, not quite so jagged and pronounced. So I'm probably, I'm happy with that now. Now the other option is, I've been soaking my water stone. This is a natural water stone. You see it's soaking because you can tell it's been soaking because it's clean. I wasn't having a load of metal impregnated in it. So now we can do exactly the same thing. On the water stone. I haven't flattened the back yet though, so I've done it on the linear, but I should have actually done that as part of at this stage as well, on the oil stone. I didn't want to remove it, you see, from my guide, because to remove it from the guide, I'm going to change the angle. I don't want to do that. I want to do everything I can in one hit, one angle, all the way through. So it don't matter, you getting up like half a degree out, but this way, from the linear to the final edge that we're putting on here, even though I haven't flattened the back, it's going to be at the same angle. I say I haven't flattened, the back is pretty flat on the linear, but it will need some flattening on the back as well. Yeah, that's there now. So I'm happy now. I'll remove that off there. See, those two magnets did the job, didn't they? People doubt it, they do. It works. Now it's been quite sharp, very sharp actually, in fact. So I'm just going to go over this one here and use this stone here just to flatten the back a little bit. Okay. Bring it down onto the stone. And a few swipes backwards like so, not too much. To be honest, what I should have done is flatten that first before I went on the linisher and finished up on the linisher, and that way I made sure the back was pretty flat. Because if you're backing flat on your plane irons, this is in hindsight, obviously, you know, I'm winging it, and sometimes you forget to do things. I should have made sure that the back of the plane iron was perfectly flat, done some on the linisher, and then come over here, flatten the back and polish the back up before I carried on with the bevel. That's what I should have done, I didn't. So it's tough tea. I'll do that on here. Use a little bit more. As long as I get, you don't have to worry about these areas here. As long as we can do polish it off to 1/8 of an inch, 3mm from that edge. As long as that is polished off, you will end up with a good edge of the hand plane iron. I should have a rag here ready, shouldn't I? A bit more, I think. So the bird's in the opposite direction now. Remember, we're kind of trying to do, it's almost like a virgin edge really, like we started from fresh, because it was in such a bad state. It was never gonna take shaving how it was. Now I can feel there's a burr all the way along, so I know that I've actually got a burr, which means I've got an edge. I need a rag so I can have a proper look. Yeah, it's all the way along the back edge there. I can feel that there. So I'll come back onto this one, and I'll just water, just pull off that wire edge. Yeah, it's a very fine wire edge, so it's come off really easily. Now, put down to the bevel. I think we're pretty much there. Well, the thing is, I am a piece of leather, so I'm going to use my palm. Yes, this is how we used to do it, just to get rid of that last little bit of burr. Okay, and then your little wire edge, you literally get rid of it that way. You can use pastes and stuff like that if you're using a piece of leather like this, you know. Put on a board, and you use some paste like that, some abrasive pastes, and then you can get that really fine edge if you want, you know. This stage, I'm not that wide, I just want to get somewhere near, which it is pretty much there now, because it's shaving my hand quite happily, as you can see. On the back of my hand. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty sharp, wouldn't you? Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty sharp. I'd say it's sharp enough now. I might do a little bit more work on it later, just to be doubly sure. At the moment, I think I'm quite happy. Oh God, yeah, with that. So we've got the chip rack to think about. Okay. Now I know I've put it over the linisher and what have you to flatten most of it, and it's probably good enough. But what I'll do is I'll use an oil stone, such as this one here, and I'm just going to make sure I flatten the back of that as well. Right, and then just literally make sure it's flat. So what you don't want to happen, you see, is having a lumpy back. Yeah, have you got a lumpy back? Your shavings can get trapped between the chip breaker and the plane iron, and that can cause you problems. And yes, you could go a bit, a bit carried away with having polish all this up. At the moment, I'm not that worried. All I want to do, at the moment, I just want to be able to make it so it will actually work. So if we come back over, don't get tangled up here. Oh crikey, tripod legs. Yes, that's what they are. Okay, so we've got a plane iron with an edge on it. Okay, remember what that looked like a few moments ago. It's now, as you can see, sharp. Well, you know what, it's got a bald hand now. And that is the chip breaker. Needs a bit more work. I'll probably just wire brush it up more and clean it up, give it a bit of a finish. And now I should be able to put the screw back in. Now I haven't created a slot like I told you, but there's loads of room in there. It's going to last a little while like that. And later on, if I want to, let's put it into the Anki first. If I want to, I can make it into a slot. Oh, careful what you do, Mark. Just take the edge off. There you go. This is a darn sight better than it was. Now, if you saw my previous video, you'd see the state it was in, and how stupid it was. So now we've got that on there. Just tighten it up, just enough. You know, as long as it's gripping and not moving about, that's all you need. Yes. I've got it back about 1.5 to 2 millimeters. I need to slide it over a little bit to loosen it. It's a bit skewy. Okay. Yes. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. So, now, is it universal? You reckon? Will it go in both these hand planes? Now, it's not going to go in that one yet because I need to create those slots. But will it fit in this one? No, it's too wide. That's got a wider. Throw it on there like so. Let's have a look at this. I know that will go on there. I don't need to put a slot on that bit, but I do on the back edge. Yeah. All right, that needs a slot there on that back edge. How I'll do that, I'll probably get the force in a bit. I'll probably create a round, shallow hole, just enough to clear the nut, and I'll get a chisel and then, well, clear up the sides and then create the slot in that way. So then it's a bit more like that one. As you see, that's not going as too narrow. So anyway, it's a little bit more like this one, but not as nice. No, the point is, I'm fairly confident it's going to take a shaving, but we'll see in one of the next videos. Yeah, the next stage of restoring this very long wooden jointer plane. That has actually got a lovely edge. I don't know how long it's going to last, but we'll see. Yeah, so there you go. Nice bevel, nice clean bevel. You're not going to get that on a Tormek, and you're not going to get that on a bench grinder because it's flat. Toodaloo. Oh yeah, don't forget people to like button, maybe subscribe to the channel and the little bell icon because then you get all those videos in your pocket every time I upload another video.